Hello everyone, it's Michael Mechanical here. So, I want to quickly make this video because it's a pattern. There's patterns with a lot of things going wrong, but there's one more commonly known than not, and that is communication. The problem I had last year, going into this year, and then this event with my car being at the mechanic and I'm not doing it, I might end up getting the car incomplete back, and then I'll just show you guys where it's at, if it's finished or not. They've got a week to finish it now, so the car unregisters on the 12th. I don't know if I can afford it, but I will be getting the car back from the 7th forward, essentially. If they can't get it done by the 7th, then it gets towed home, essentially. That's what it seems like it's coming down to. But the thing that's been happening is communication. Communication has been breaking down. And what's been happening is the car's been there for like 2 months, right? And every time there's a problem, most of the times I'm the one actually calling them to find out if anything's going right or wrong or whatever. And initially, with the first problem, no one really told me anything about the belt, I don't believe. But then they called me back straight after to tell me, oh yeah, there's a problem with the belt. Okay, go check it out, see what's going on. And it's like, well, maybe it came from Ratco, the belt, and well, they're not happy with the tensioners and they want to fix them. They fix the tensioners, everything looks right there now. They're comfortable to let it run. That's about it. It's at the point where it's like, yeah, they've done all the stuff, they're happy with how the belts are. They're not happy with the roller rocker arms having the wrong screw on it, but they didn't know about that, nor did I. I didn't actually know that the screw was wrong, because I bought the head that was to suit my engine with the roller rocker arms, and I was trying to buy a complete head, then I wouldn't have had this problem. But unfortunately, I went down this hole where I bought a head, the wrong head, and it was not complete. So it caused me some grief there. That's a high quality head, just the wrong valves for that assembly, something like that. Now, is there anything else that I can, tell you guys about? The only thing I can really think of at the moment is nothing. But with the other job that miscommunication or communication breakdown, I kept calling them, contacting them, but they never called me back or contacted me. My parents are concerned if this company here is having financial issues or any issues whatsoever, they're going to collapse, and then my car is going to be kept as collateral or something, and they're going to sell it off and try to make money off of it when the business folds over. And that's another bit of miscommunication. There's no sign of the business is actually going to fall over tomorrow or anything. It's just restructuring, apparently. But that could be an indication of something being wrong. In my eyes, I know I'm expecting up to $1,600 in bills for what they've had my car for and done with it. There isn't what seems to be $1,600 worth of work there because it's not complete. I would put it at about halfway. It's about the halfway mark. So it should be around the $800 to $1,000 mark for work that's been done on the car. Now, if that doesn't make sense, there is about an hour in setting up the injection pump. It's about half an hour in putting on all the rails for the injection pump and working with your injectors, maybe another half an hour, so it's 2 hours of work right there, and just the injection assembly. There is about maybe 30 minutes in just doing the timing belts that they've done currently as it is, I reckon. But they probably would have to double that time because they've had to do it twice, which is ridiculous. But I was there first time to help them, which was more like quarter of an hour because I had some help from me. But doesn't matter. It was more like 30 minutes anyway. So call it 3 hours there. $140 per hour. They've had the car running and they were going to set the tappets, but there's no room to set the tappets. So yeah, they're frozen there. And they've also hooked up the battery, so it's about 5 hours roughly done on the car. And if I go and calculate it, this is going to take a while. And also I have another 500 job out in the field, but that's one that they never called me back about, so I don't know if it's complete or not, which is another miscommunication. So at $140 per hour times the 4 or 5 hours, I'll call it 5 hours for now. This is the most I'm looking at currently, price-wise, to have the work that's been carried out done. Add an additional 210 to that. That brings the figure up to... No, I'm going to add the 210. 210 because it's for the timing belt kit, and I'm already at $910. So it's about $1,000 already done with the car. So if it actually is $1,000, I'm not going to be surprised. If it comes to $1,600 as it is, I'd be very surprised. If it's cheaper than that, I'd be even more surprised, because that would be concerning to me if their business is even sustainable. But this work, from my own experience and being able to do it actively and get it done, does take about as long as I've said it takes. It's not like they're working at super fast speeds or anything, or trying. I was literally trying, whereas they are just proficient in what they do, and they just make smooth, small, efficient movements and stuff. And they're good at what they do, so I wouldn't be surprised if about 910 is roughly what I'm at now. They still have to put the radiator in, and they still have to put the hoses on, the fans, the pulleys, assembly, the top timing cover has to go on, and then they have to put the grill on, and then they have to do the radiator filling. Well, that's 6-7 items. That's another, 3 hours roughly max, or 4 hours max. 4 hours max, because the radiator takes about an hour to get in, even though it's pretty easy and simple and it's really quick to get in. It sometimes takes about an hour to get in because it's ridiculous with the bolts. I made it easier on myself just because of where the bolts are and the shroud and stuff. Like, the combination of things going right and wrong there is why it could take about an hour just to get the radiator in alone. So simple, yet takes so long to do. There's still the tappets. Oh, I did forget they did take off the pulley and clean up the teeth on that, and they did do the assessment of diagnostics of whatever was wrong, so there's potentially another 15 minutes, hour. It's going to come over $1,000 already, so I'm already underestimating what the price could be. So if this is what it comes out to be, then at least I didn't get it wrong. But the pulley doesn't take that long. It's about 15 minutes to probably pull it off and clean it up, not an hour to clean it. They should have bought a brand new pulley and just swapped it over if they call it an hour. It would have been about that cheap anyway for me to order one. What else is there in terms of... it's super hard to really define exactly what this is going to cost and what it actually price point I'm at now. I know my figures, and I know roughly what it's going to cost anyway, and I know why it's going to cost what it's going to cost. That's really the best I can do at this point. Then there's the other job, which I owe them about $550-ish, roughly. Not them, but another business, because the business didn't contact me to tell me, because I gave them a part. They gave it to someone else, he cut it open, they did their thing with it, and it was sent to the foundry. The foundry didn't do anything with it, because they never called me back to say, your job's been done, come collect, come pay, whatever. They didn't even call me back. That's the thing, and if I had to take it to court, like if they wanted to take me to court, I could actually back it up with the email records and the phone logs. Like, they did call me back a couple times, but they didn't call me back not once about the price or anything. They told me what the price was straight up, like when I delivered my part. Yep, cool, okay, I agreed to the price point, and never got called back. So that's the thing. Even though I've been breaking down my own communication with other people and other places, businesses have been doing a lot to me too. And it's not nice. It's not fair, it's not fun. And as a consumer, I've seen a lot of people get angry and aggressive about this stuff. I've been calm, I've been patient. And if they say any differently, and if anyone wants to say it's your attitude, unfortunately, I've been way nicer than other people who get their way. Way nicer. So anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I still would not discredit this company, even though they've had my car for too long and they're taking too long to do it, because when it came to my injection pump, they got that done like that. So for them to be struggling with my car like this, it is a real surprise to me of how long it's actually taking. And for the 1 month, I'm okay with that. You know, I was stressed out, and at the same time, they already gave me pre-warning that they're very busy already. But if they have multiple people's cars for a month or two, that's not on. That's not okay. They should be getting cars in and out as quickly as they can and communicating with customers effectively to say, look, it's going to take us so long to get parts. My car had parts, but they just need to do the work, and that's about it. Those tappets at the top, they shouldn't have turned over the engine without checking them in the first place. I already put on a piece of paper that they've since disposed of. But the piece of paper was pretty much like a tag out, but it wasn't a tag out because it wasn't on the keyring. It was in the dash. They got rid of the piece of paper in the dash, probably to access the numbers on the dash, because I don't have a tag out properly. But yeah, they made some mistakes. It's not entirely their fault, but it's also not accountable from their part. They are really good at what they do. They're not a business I would say is bad. I would say they are pretty good at what they do, but they do have problems and they need to address them, because people want to get serviced. People need to get serviced. If I'm a guy and working a day job, and I need my car to travel to and from work, my car breaks down and I take it there, and it takes them 2 months to fix it, that just cost me 8 weeks of potentially transport work. But I need to change that figure. Take a week or 2 off, because depending on how they do their work, they pull it apart, they get an assessment on the parts they need, they say it's going to take so long to get the parts, which can take up to like a month or 2 depending on the car, but more modern cars will only take about a week or 2 to get parts max. If it takes any longer than 1 to 2 weeks, it's probably coming from another country. If it takes longer than 2 weeks, like longer than a month to do and get parts and stuff, then there's something really, really wrong. There are countries where it takes you 3 months to get parts from, but we won't worry about that. What we'll worry about is getting stuff done, organised, and go home. So thank you, everyone. This is Mike Mechanical talking to you about communication breakdowns of mechanics. There should be action plans realistically in place, like call the customer X amount of time, Z amount of time, and just keep in touch. Take care, everyone. Michael Mechanical out.